Hey everyone, it's Sam here. Thank you for watching. So I'm back with another letter shaped gift box. So as you can see, this one here is for Father's Day. So this is for my dad. Good excuse for me to do the letter D. As I've said before, I'm not taking requests for these letters. I make them as I need them because I just don't have the space to have the whole alphabet of gift boxes in my craft room. All of the ones that I've done so far will be shared in a playlist here, so check those out. And if the letter that you're after is not there, it's because I haven't done it yet. But I am eventually working my way through. I did do the letter F for Father's Day last year, so if you would rather have Father's Day, then that one is already up. But I thought a D for Dad would be perfect. I've already done the letter T, which was for his name Terry, so I've already given him that one. So this one here, he loves the sea, the ocean, just being out on the water. He's a kayaker and he's in the sea probably 3-4 times a week. So I thought I would use my new Under the Sea ephemera to decorate this. If you've not seen these, they all open from the top. You've got heaps of space inside there to be able to fill with whatever it is you want. They're great for home decor. You don't have to have it as a box. You could seal that off completely, put some sand or something to kind of weigh it down, personalize them and decorate them to match your space. They're really, really fun. I do love making these. You don't need any specialty dies for these. I show you how to make all of the templates, so it's a proper DIY project. So let's get started. So first of all, we need to make our templates. This is exactly the same way that I make all of the other letters. So if you've made those, you'll be familiar with what we need to do. So you want to cut yourself a piece of 5x6 card. So I've got my piece of card laid down on this piece here. And along the top here, I'm going to talk you through the measurements because I've already done all of this. So along this 5-inch side, you want to mark with a pencil at 1 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 inches, 3 1/4 and 4. And you want to repeat those measurements and mark with a pencil along this side. And then you're going to join up each of these. And then along this side here, you want to mark down 1/2 inch, 2 inches, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 4 inches and 5 1/2. And then you want to repeat that again on this side and join up all of those markers. So now you'll have all these lines like I have, and you can see how I've drawn out that D shape. So I'll just talk you through this. So this first line here is from the top of that 2 3/4 mark, and then you're going to come down and across to the 4-inch mark there, and that's on that 1/2 inch line. And then you're going to go from there all the way down in this square, which will be at the 2-inch line. You don't need to worry about this, I've just drawn it in for the video, but that's the side of this 5x6 piece. And then you're going to come to the 4-inch line here, and you're doing the same as what you've done here, just opposite. So now you're going to come down and across to the 5 1/2. And then again, you've got that same rectangle here as you've got up here. You're just going to go all the way across so you meet that 2 3/4 line again at the bottom. All of this is the side of that piece of card. Then you need to do the inside part here. So you need to focus on the 1 3/4 line and come down to the 2-inch line. If you just mark all the way down to the 4-inch, okay, so you've got a 2-inch section just there, and then you're going to come across to the 2 3/4, and that's on the 2 and the 4, okay, and then you're going to have a little square here, okay, so you're going to come up and across that square, which is the 3 3/4 line. Then you're going to come up and across that rectangle, so it'll bring you up to the 3 1/4, and then you're going to come up to the 2 3/4, and then you're going to go across again to the 2 1/4 and across again up to the 2, and that will join that all up. I'll have photos of this on my blog. I won't have the measurements for what I've just explained there because it won't make any sense. You just need to watch and just follow the visual of this template. Then you want to cut that out and it will give you this shape here. I'll turn it over, so you'll have something like that. That's your template that you can now keep forever and use that to draw around anything. If you then want to do a matte layer, you want a piece of 4 3/4 by 5 3/4, and it's exactly the same, it's just slightly smaller. It's a 1/4 inch smaller. So if I just sit this one over the top of this one here, you'll see we get that matte layer, so we get that nice border. So again, for this one, you want to do 1 1/2 2 5/8, 3 inches, 3 1/4, and 3 7/8. Those same measurements you want to mark along the bottom, and again join those lines up. And then along this side here, I've come up from the bottom left here. It doesn't matter there, you know, it's all the same. So from the bottom, you're going to mark at 1/2 inch, then 1 3/4, 2 1/8, 2 5/8, 3 1/8, 3 5/8, 4 inches, and 5 1/4. Repeat those again on this side and join up all of those marks. So you've got these lines. So again, you've got your grids, and you're just going to come across all of the same sections that I talked through on this one, on the main, on this one here. Okay. And it's exactly the same for the inside. You're going to come down. You've got all these lines together. You're starting from the top to the bottom of all those lines there. It's the same, you know, on this one here. So hopefully these visuals really help and just make a bit more sense of it all. Again, cut it all out. So I've got my mat and layer templates there. I keep all these in a folder. Like I said, I'm working through the alphabet, so eventually I'll have them all in there. And it's so easy now to just pull those out and make up the boxes quickly. Then you want to draw around these on your chosen card. So this is first of all the main box size. So this is the 5 by 6 piece. So I've drawn around and cut out all of that, and I've drawn around and cut out just the outer part. I thought I'd leave the middle in just to show you how easy it is to cut. Some of you might use your trimmers, some of you will put these measurements into your digital cutting machines, but for everyone else that's doing it manually like this, you just want to lay a metal ruler, always works best. Make sure you've got a protective mat. This is a self-healing mat, and whenever you use your cutting knife, you always want to cut into the metal ruler. I like this one here because my fingers aren't right next to the blade, so if I was to slip, it's going to hit that ruler rather than my fingers. So just nice and sharp blade there, starting from the top of that pencil line, and like I said, I'm cutting on a slight angle into that ruler, and then just work your way around. Okay, so that should now just pop out. There we go. So I've got my two, well, I've got the front and the back there for the box. And then I just did the same for the, what was that one? For the matte layer in this lighter blue. I did it first and then I embossed it with this bubble embossing folder. And what happened was it shrunk the card, which I should have known. This is a 3D embossing folder, so it's really pulled in that card. So now when I sit this one over the top, it's really thick up here and here and here. It's just not quite right, where it's just kind of, it's totally just misshaped it really. This is how it looks when you cut it, and you can see there, just have to move it a little bit, but you've got a nice frame around. You might have to flip them sometimes, just flipping it might work better. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use this one yet, because I'm going to decorate this quite a lot. What I might end up doing is bringing it up slightly higher, and I'm going to have like seaweed and things like that along here, because I do really love it. I think it's a great effect. Okay, then we need to create all of our side parts. So I have already stuck all of the papers down on this because I needed to make sure I had enough, because I've got a lot of scraps of this particular design. And this is from my Under the Sea paper collection. So you get these topper sheets here, which I'm going to probably use some of those. But you can see the paper here, and you've got this lovely one as well. And you've got some backgrounds as well. Okay, so all of the pieces are 3 inches wide. This one's 3 by 6.5. Along the 3 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and at 2.5. And then along that 6.5 side, you're going to score at 6. Okay. The paper to go on top of this, I'm going to tell you this as we go, and I'll write it, it'll come up on the screen as well. This is 5 3/4 by 1 3/4. This here is the side of the box. So if I hold this up, you might want to write on these. I did write in pencil underneath, but I've already popped the pattern paper on. But this one is going to stick along here, and that's the tab to connect to the next one. Okay, so just to give you a visual. So if you just write left side or left full side, then you'll know what these are all for. Okay, this piece here is 3 by 6.5. Along the 3 inch side, again, you're going to score at 1/2 and 2.5. And along that 6.5 side, you're going to score at 2 3/4, 4 1/8, and 6. And this one here is going to connect to the bottom and it's going to run all along here, up this side and up this side. So if you put bottom and bottom right side, okay. And then this piece here is again 3, and this is 8.5. Along the 3-inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 and 2.5, and along that 8.5 side, you're going to score at 2, 3 7/8, 5 1/4, and 8. And this one is going to go on here, around this side, around there, and then finish along the top. And this is going to be the opening. So we're not actually going to end up sticking that down, and I'll show you that when we come to it. So if you put this as the right side and opening and top opening, something like that. Then I've got this piece which is going to be all for the middle. So this is 3 by 7. Along the 3-inch side again, 1/2 and 2.5. And then along the 7-inch side, you're going to score at 1, 1 3/8, 2, 2.5, 3 1/8, 3.5, 4.5, and 6.5. Okay, so you've got lots of these sections here, but that's going to cover all in there. And that's optional. You don't have to cover all of those. You may well not, not want that. Just realised I didn't give you the measurements for all the other pattern pieces, so we'll do that now. So if I just show you how I've got these all, so that's the left side, then the bottom, then going up on the right side to the closure, and that's the middle piece. So this one here, you'll want a piece that's 1 3/4 by 2.5, 1 3/4 by 1 1/8, and 1 3/4 by 1 5/8. And then on here, so again 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, 1 3/4 by 1 5/8, 1 3/4 by 1 1/8, and 1 3/4 by 2.5. And then on this one here, you've got again all 1 3/4, and this one is by 3/4. This is, it's like just over 1/8. This is 3/8. This is 1/4, 3/8, just over 1/8, 3/4, and 1 3/4. Again, all those measurements will be along there, and they will go onto my blog. You'll also see that I've cut into some of them. So I've already cut into this one. I've cut that one. But I'm going to show you how to do that on these two here. So just grab my scissors here. So we need to create tabs on all of these pieces. So if you just cut a wedge off the end there, you can either just cut up all of these little score lines just to the first score line, or you can just cut a triangle over like so. But we want to free up all of these panels so they become tabs. And then on this one here, you just want to remove the little squares when you get to the tab end. Again, just take that off. You can just cut into it straight like that if that's easier. And this is what I mean about just cutting right over with a triangle. So like that, and then like that. Or just cut up first and then just cut a wedge off of each side. Whatever works easiest. So you'll see now, once you fold and burnish all of these score lines, you'll see how easy that is now to work around the shape of that letter. Again, same with this one here. But because this one is the closure, so you would have wrote on this one here, this one here, just keep it nice and straight. Just cut into it. Just, you know, remove the squares, but only take a wedge off of these pieces. Leave that, because that's actually going to be what we need to lock in the box. Again, if you've made my other letters, you'll know what I mean by this. Whereas, you know, if I just compare this tab end here, you can see I've cut into it, but that one, you just keep the sides as they are. Okay. And again, this one's going to go inside. So I'm just going to cut a little wedge off of the edges there. I'm just going to go over each of these. So you're going to have very small tabs. I think this is the first letter that I have made with the inside section. I think all the other letters have not had it, because I've got like the letter R that I need to do. So that's going to have this extra piece, the letter O, P, things like that. So I know some of you have already, you know, once you've kind of seen how I've made them, you've been able to go and, you know, make your own letters. And then again, this one here, remove that. Okay, again, fold and burnish everything. Okay, take one of these. This is actually going to end up being the back, so I'm going to stick on like this, and then we'll put the front one on last. I'm going to use the quick grab glue for this, for that reason, that it just dries quickly. And this is the Cosmic Shimmer glue, which is always linked below my video. So you're going to run your glue all the way along that tab. And then I like to look to the left-hand side and just move that until it's in place. You want to make sure that that base corner, you've got a nice right angle that is running flush there with the bottom. Just give that a really good burnish. You can attach these all together and work with one long piece, but it can get in the way when you're moving it around all of the different kind of you know, sides. So I like to just do it all separate. So now I'm going to add glue to the tab, and then you're going to take that one which will say base and right side, bottom right side, and you're going to line this up. You want to make sure that the score lines marry up, and then run your glue along that next tab and fold it under, and it will line up perfectly with that bottom section there. Now, because of the way that we folded these, you can just fold it out and it's easy to access all of the tabs, and then just fold that in and just follow the shape of the letter. And then again, just pull that one out. If for some reason, you know, you've come way past this kind of corner here, then I would advise taking it off, because if you carry on connecting, you're just going to end up being completely out of sync, and it's just not going to have the shape that you want. But already you can see how we're getting that D shape, and it will end up standing up nicely as well. This is the piece that says closure at this end here, that largest section. So this one is going to now attach to there. And then again, add my glue and just pop it in again and just work your way along. Okay, so you'll see the look that I've got here, but this one I've not attached because that's going to be the closure. So this is what I mean, if it's not lining up, if this is coming right over here, then it's just not going to close. You need that at this point to be able to sit nicely in there, which mine does. Okay, but leave that out. So with this one here, all of these pieces are going to face out like that. Now I'm just wondering whether to attach this like so and then just stick that in like that. I think that's going to be easiest. You can see how much space you've got in this. You can, if you want, stick down each side at a time, but I think it's going to be a bit fiddly. I'm going to do it this way, but if you want to try the other way, which is just how we've attached all these, then you can. So add the glue to the tab end. You're going to bring this around and attach to the other end. Again, just make sure that the score lines all line up, and you can see the shape straight away, and you should again be able to check that that fits really well. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to add the glue to all of these little tabs here, and then I'm going to, I can just see where I need to go with it. I'm just going to drop that down. You might have to pull out, you might have to pull it down, so then you get the right width. I'm just going to flip it over. Oh, look, perfect. Just thinking, you actually, can you see my tabs on the outside? Stick your tab on this side. Oh, hang on a minute. What have I just done? I've just realised that I've stuck it back to front. I just thought then my tab wasn't right. I'm just going to undo that. Okay, so you want to have it, it's got to go that way. Some of you are probably again shouting at the screen because I'll leave all this in. So you want to fold them out that way. That was a good save. I could have put that all together and then realised. So again, add the glue, and then stick that way. It's only because I put the pattern paper on that I've noticed. I thought, why can't I see my pattern paper when I look on the inside? Right, there we go. So I've got the glue there, but that's just going to dry. You're not going to notice that. So again, just move it around until you're happy. So I would advise sticking the pattern paper on these sides before you stick this down, because that's quite a small area to get that pattern paper in. But that looks pretty good. I'm pleased with that. And what I would do is just grab your front one at this point and just lay it down, and just make sure, see, these will all move in a moment, and that can move as well. I think that's all going to work fine. What I would suggest you do, so again, this is new doing this one, I'm going to stick this middle bit onto this first. I'm going to get this in place because I can just lift up the sides and add the glue in as I go around. I think that's going to be easier. So I'm going to add the glue on here, because it's easy to pull these out a little bit, push that up a bit, and really follow that shape. But I don't think you'll be able to do that so much with this one. So I'm just going to place that all down, and then you can get in there and kind of pinch that. And what I'm going to do is just grab my ruler, go in here, and just use that so I can apply some pressure on those tabs. Okay, so that's secure, but can you see now how easy it is to kind of pull out this shape to work it around this here? So I'm going to take this side. I think I'm going to do along this one as well at the same time. There we go. You've got a little bit of wiggle time. Just pull that out. Again, use your ruler to go down that side. And make sure you've got a nice right angle at the bottom there. And just check that stands up really nicely. Yeah, I think this is all going to look really nice. I'm just going to lift that up and just work my way around, getting the rest of these sides stuck down. Okay, so they're stuck down, and you can get your ruler around pretty much all those tabs. The only one I can't really get it down to is that one there, but with all the others in place, that's okay. So now, like I said, that can go in and lock itself in. We've got that lovely box. I think it's great. I always like to add a little finger pull on there. So I've just got my 1/2 inch punch here, and I'm just going to get that in the middle and just punch that out, and it just makes it now easier to open that up. So you would have just seen me finish this all off. So I've used some of my water droplets here. These are a mix of the ones from my Papercraft Society box, and I've also got some from Amazon, so I'll link them below. And you can see them here. They're slightly white because the glue is still drying underneath, but that will be completely clear. And then you'll also notice that the whole thing is shining, and that's because originally I just used some of my accent glaze on a couple of the dots, but because they're raised, I water this down, so I've spritzed some water inside of it, so it's just got so I can cover more area. And it just started to roll off of these bubble, you know, the dimensional bubbles. So I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? So I just thought I'll cover the whole thing. It didn't use a lot of this because, like I said, it is kind of watered down, and I just kind of spread it around. But I'm really, really kind of glad it happened, because I think the finish is fantastic. Really pleased with this. The Father's Day is from this set here, which is the Creative Craft Products Special Sentiments. This one's a little bit older, so I'm not sure if it's still available, but again, everything will be linked below. And then that's the ephemera pack that I've used to decorate it. But for my sea-loving father, he will really appreciate this. I think he's going to really like it. And he has some shelf space in his like little office area, so I know he will display this for a while as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this letter D gift box from me today. Like I said at the beginning, these are great for personalising gifts, great for home decor. So, you know, I would have thought you can probably do a few words already with the letters that I've got out there, but eventually you'll be able to, you know, have lots of different words spout out, you know, someone's name for their birthday. There's lots of ways to use these, and yeah, just lots and lots of fun. It stands up really nice. It's such a cute display piece, and I can't wait to fill this one with his favourite treats. So as always, everything will be linked in the description box below. Give me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today. I'll have the playlist, or I would have shared that at the beginning probably, of all the letters that I've done so far. I have some other letters popping up here as well. You might want to watch those ones next. And like I said, I'm not doing requests for these. I only make them as I need them because I just don't have the space to have every letter of the alphabet in my craft room. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.